Hello, lovely human, and welcome to day one of the 7 days of movement challenge. I'm looking forward to coaching you through the next few days of becoming aware of your body in motion. And my name is Leela. I am your coach for the next 7 days, maybe a little bit after that if you're interested in my other online offerings. And I think we should just get going. So today we're going to start with the feet. And wherever you are coming to stand, I recommend you taking your shoes off for today's session if possible. And you'll come to stand, spreading your feet as much as you can and just having them nice and easy underneath your pelvis. So as you stand, you'll be able to feel that the feet are load bearing, yeah? So they carry this full body weight of ours when we are in a standing upright position. And all we're going to do for the first little bit is just rock your weight from side to side and feel how the weight transfers from foot to foot. Then I'd like you to notice if you've dropped your ankles inwards. So have you collapsed the inside of your feet or dropped the arches, ankles rolling inwards? And can you think of lifting the arches of your feet, which might cause a bit of activation through the toes as well and could potentially shift some other things up the length of the legs into the pelvis. So just lifting those arches and getting a bit of activation through there. Great. And then if you haven't already, just bring your weight to the center and take a moment to let the weight sink even deeper through the legs into the feet. You can also take a moment to connect to your center body. And remembering that the whole body is an integrated system. So even though we're starting just with the feet today, the body works interconnectedly. Yeah, so nothing is separate. Shift your weight over onto one foot, and then I want you to press into the ball of the foot or spread the toes as you bend that opposite leg, and then release that, shift weight into the other leg and bend and pour. Noticing if your ankle is kind of sickling in either direction, see if you can get the ankle to track directly over the toes, yeah, shifting from side to side. So we're aiming to create space in the toes and that underneath space of the foot, stretching out the arch. And if you look at me from the side, I'm keeping my pelvis quite underneath me. I'm not kind of pushing my bum too far back or my chest too far forward, keeping it quite underneath. And it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's okay, because we spend a lot of time over the day in shoes that kind of crunch our feet up and crunch our toes together. So let's move into that tiny little bit of discomfort. A few more like that. Connect into your breath. Lovely. Then come back to the center. Shift your weight into one leg and come onto the tops of your toes of the other foot. And I'd like you to roll through that ankle joint, seeing if you can pass through the top of the foot and then the underneath. If it's helpful, you can take this leg just a little bit behind you. It might be a bit more stable in terms of balance. You can also hold onto a chair or a desk or a wall, anything that's nearby. And then change direction of your ankle circles. And allow that spaciousness to come into that space of the body. Good. Changing weight into the other leg, come onto the tops of the toes, and start with those circles. And what I love about this one is that it's not only happening in the ankle, it's actually also drawing circles in the knee joint, and that's also traveling up into the hip. So it's kind of like a triple whammy. You get a bang for your buck with this one. Change direction. You might also notice that one leg is a little bit more coordinated than the other. For example, my left leg is a little less coordinated than my other one. Coming all the way over the tops of those toes. And returning to the center. Great. If you look at me from the side, we're going to take one leg forward. Again, finding some balance in that supporting leg. And all we're going to do is take some flexing and extending for dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. My apologies. Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. So moving through that ankle joint. Pulling toes to knee and sending toes away. Toes to knee. Again, if you need to hold on to something for balance, please feel free to. And let's change sides. Bringing that leg just a little bit forward. You can bend into your supporting knee if you need to. Stay connected to your center. Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. Last two. 1 and 2. Good. Come back to the center. Shift the weight back over into one leg. And we're going to take some ankle circles here with the leg just hovering off the floor. It really doesn't need to be high. I want you to keep it quite relaxed. And then change direction. Great. Shifting over other side. And listening to how much rotation you have there, how much of a circle can you make? Change direction. And again, one ankle might feel slightly different to the other. And come back to the center. Great. Take a few more weight shifts from side to side. And sense into the feet. Are they feeling a little bit more awake, a little bit more alive than when we first came to stand? And can you naturally start to lift those arches using that new awareness or that fresh awareness? Great. Coming back to the center. You might like to sit on a chair or something that you can sit on. If you're able to, come down to the floor, and we're going to take the fingers of the left hand and thread them through the toes. So each finger in the alternating gap of the toes, and see how that feels to spread the toes using your fingers. You might even want to give a little squeeze here and there. Feel that spreading of the bones. And then we can start to roll out the ankle. So you're using your left hand, left arm to mobilize that right ankle joint. If it's comfortable for you to bend this underneath leg, go for it. Otherwise, you're welcome to just do it wherever you are, however you are. And as you do this, maybe you feel an easing of that initial tension or that initial stretch of the toes. Change direction. I'm not sure if you can hear, but my right ankle is a little bit clicky. Good. And then let that go. Slowly bring your fingers out from your toes. Wiggle out the leg. We're going to go to the other side. Right fingers, left toes. And immediately noticing if there's any difference from the right to the left. So in my case, I can feel that my left toes are a little bit closer together. They don't really want to spread as much as my right ones do. So this is a bit more painful for me on this side. And we're rolling out that ankle. Checking in with your breathing. And change direction. And again, hopefully it's easing up slightly. I know that you can purchase toe separators. I'm sure they have a fancier name than that, but I have a hack. If you go to a pharmacy or health store, you could find those little spongy things that you use for pedicures that separate your toes, and they work just as well as the fancy toe separators. So there's a little hack for you if you want to walk around your house spreading your toes. Great. Gently take those hands out from the toes. Oh my goodness gracious. Give your legs a little bit of a shake and then come back up to stand. And before we close, just noticing as you stand on those beautiful legs, feel how the feet spread into the ground and carry the weight of your structure. And notice if there's any difference now when you stand from when you began. Yeah, and keeping this awareness with you as you move through your day, just remembering to spread those toes and lift those arches. And rest. Good. Taking some time to take care of your feet is always a good idea. It can take 5 minutes at the beginning or in the middle or at the end of your day. And yeah, I recommend it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for day 1. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 2. And I will see you then. Lots of love. Bye.